your men can have love for the truckie. Beautiful minds, but we love getting ugly. Risk takers with a clover, man, we love getting lucky. You run, we chase fire, I love when it ducks me. Tones go off, house watch, read the address out. 1075, get up off the magic couch. 500 gallons prepared for the baddest drought. Who else you want on the way when disaster's out? Can't even get a little bit rattled when you enter with exit apparel. Mayday, member down, they'll drag you. You won't get this from every Tom, Dick, and Harold, but here's a view from the top floor with Mickey Farrell.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of A View from the Top Floor. Probably one of the most dangerous firegrounds we operate on is the highway. It's not necessarily the incident that's dangerous. However, it's the traffic that's going by while we're operating. In 2024, there were 46 responders that were killed in the line of duty while operating on the highway. Now we're being put on these accidents, even if it's a fender bender, even if it's someone having a heart attack and it's an EMS run, we're putting one-on-one response on these accidents, which is fine. I have no problem going and protecting those operating. However, when we come to these accidents, let's get off the rig. Let's understand where we fit in, do our job, do the task, treat the patient if that's what we have to do. But then once we're done, and we're waiting for the next step, we're waiting for other resources, whether it be the PD, whether it be the tow, get back on the rig. This is where we are our own worst enemies. This is where the greatest company can look incredibly unprofessional to the public eye. I think we've all been there. We're wandering around the accident scene, kind of just kicking the bumper, kicking debris, just kind of not understanding where to fit in. And it's funny, and I think that those listening that have had this situation, you can contest to this, is that we wait one another out. It could be the coldest day of the year, and if we're operating on the highway, a lot of times we'll just stand around and shiver, not being the first one to go back to the rig. If it's raining, we're standing in the rain. I've been there before. I always like to just slowly, quietly go back to the rig, put my tools away, and sit on the rig. Then the next guy would trickle in, then the next guy would come. The first guy sets the example, the rest will follow. However, now as a company officer, I think it's critical once we're done operating, once we've done our duties at the accident and we're waiting for those next steps to come into place, be on the rig. It's the safest place to be. There's no reason to be out wandering around the accident scene. I'm pretty sure it's actually improving that when you are impaired as well, you are drawn to the emergency lights with your vehicle, especially at night. So again, another reason why we shouldn't be hanging around the scene, be on the rig. Next thing I want to talk about is our obsession with cutting that battery. I don't know where this culture comes from. I do understand why we do this, is to de-energize that vehicle that was in the accident. However, use some common sense. If that vehicle is not completely totaled, completely demolished to the point where we cannot remove it, then let's try to get it off the highway. Keep that battery energized. Get in the car once we treat the patient. Use those size-up skills we talk about so much, right? Size up the vehicle. If we can remove that vehicle off the highway, let's do that. Get it to a service road. Get it to the next exit. That way we can all operate a little bit safer. And most importantly, that allows us to go back in service to be available to go to our next fire. Because the last thing I want to do, and probably the last thing anybody wants to do, is miss a good first due job because you're fucking around on the highway. All right? Mickey Farrell, thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share the new channel. Get back on the rig. Don't hang around on the highway. Be safe, stay low, and let it blow.